Hi, my name is Heidi Bright. I want to talk today about subduing the fear dragon. For me, the whole process started in 2009. I got the paralyzing message there was no cure for this type of uterine cancer. I was terrified and in shock. I didn't even know what to ask. It was already stage 4 with the most aggressive cells. What do you do? Does that sound familiar to anybody? Sitting in the doctor's office and you hear the word cancer or some other debilitating disease. If that doesn't sound like a death sentence, I don't know what does. Then it hit me. I'm a mother. What's going to happen to my kids? With all due respect, the doctors didn't have much to offer. And I also remembered how my mother passed from breast cancer. That terrified me too. And so I began my 2-year journey through 42 days of chemotherapy treatments and 3 major surgeries. But the cancer was relentless. It kept coming back. After my 3rd major surgery, guess what news I got? Get your affairs in order. Like my life was over. Yet, during those 2 years, I underwent an enormous personal makeover. I used my journalism background to research everything I could, every option I could find that sounded reasonable to me. I ended up compiling a list of about 250 practical things that I could do to help myself through this whole process. I worked on changing my attitudes, my behaviors, and making major life choices. This brought healing to my heart and my mind, and my body followed. I've been free of evidence of disease and free of all medical treatment for cancer since 2011. I realized, and my friends realized, I had great information that could provide genuine hope and lots of options to other people with debilitating diseases. So I put together everything I learned. And this is the result: a traditionally published book with more than 250 practical options for any healing journey. And it's endorsed by a surgeon and breast cancer patient advocate. Thriver Soup, a feast for living consciously during the cancer journey. You can find it on my website, thriversoup.com. You can get the book there, and you can listen to radio interviews and even a TV interview talking about the things that can be done to help you or those you love through any chronic illness. To find ways to cope and to deal with it. Because I learned that being incurable means being curable from the inside. If you want proof, here I am. After the book got published, I began hearing from other people who read the book and found their genuine hope and options. Let me read to you what one woman wrote to me. Her name, it was a couple in Georgia, and they got a copy of the book. And here's what they wrote. Message to me on Facebook. We have our first appointment with the oncologist on Monday. The course of treatment we are expected to have presented to us features of aggressive radiation. As I opened Thriver Soup, I flipped over a few pages and stopped on page 79. Right there, outlined with specific questions for particular physicians, was the key to a much more successful and informative consult with the radiology oncologist. Heidi's book is already helping us in miraculous ways, and I really like the format she's chosen. So much great advice is packed onto every page. And it's presented in a casual, uncomplicated way. It is comforting to the people who are concerned, even afraid of their prognosis, because the text provides a plan and a focal point every step of the way. So there are options. People are moving from fear to hope with Thriver Soup. One important lesson that I learned that I talk about in Thriver Soup is how to deal with fear. When there's a terrible diagnosis, there is fear. It just about cannot be avoided. And I went to a psychotherapist and learned how to manage my fear. I learned how to manage it by allowing it to be what it was as a physical sensation in my body. Allowing that sensation to be what it was, to get more intense, to move around if it needed to, and if I didn't think about it, make stories about it, judge it, or analyze it, after about 90 seconds, the fear would lift. Now, of course, if I started thinking about it again, the fear would come back, but I got temporary relief, and I could keep doing that process repeatedly until I got much better relief from it. So I learned to experience the fear in my body without being afraid of that experience. The biggest challenge for me was learning how to continue this as a new behavior pattern, to remember to do it every time I experienced fear. And that took a lot of practice, but it was so worthwhile. The tip that I have to offer is to try to experience the sensation of fear in the body without trying to manage it, allowing it to be what it was, what it is. I have a quote from somebody who has Parkinson's disease. She read this in Thriver Soup. She was having trouble going up and down stairs. She was shaking badly. She needed some way to deal with the anxiety that this was creating about her future. So she read Thriver Soup. I have an entire section in Thriver Soup about managing fear. She writes, Thriver Soup suggests feeling my feelings, actually experiencing the sensations in my body, and to just let them be. Eventually, the emotions receded. I felt such gratitude for this practice. These suggestions turned out to be an invaluable aid to me. Now Grace is thriving. She's walking up and down stairs. Her shaking has been reduced because now that she's not dealing with anxiety and fear all the time, now that it's comfortable for her to experience it, she has more energy to exercise and to manage her life in other ways, to work on her willpower so that she can thrive, and she's doing it. My mantra that I developed through this process is experience the sensations in my body. Experience the sensations in my body. I'm no longer afraid of experiencing fear. It's just a physical sensation in my body, and it will lift. This frees me to continue with other aspects of my life that I want to do and continue to work on. To find out more, you can go to thriversoup.com. You can request to get on my blog. It comes out every week, Thriver Soup Thursdays. When you ask to be on the mailing list, I send you a list of my top 10 tips for dealing with cancer. You can also find on there an introduction to a guided meditation. During this meditation, you can go to a place in your body where there is dis-ease and have a conversation with the cells so that you can find out what you need to do for you to have a better outcome for yourself. The introductions are on the website, so you can listen to those and decide if that's something that interests you. You'll also find radio interviews and a link to a TV interview so that you can learn more about this process and learn more about how to help somebody with a chronic diagnosis. I would love to hear from you how this book is helping you manage your fears and manage a possible chronic diagnosis or somebody that has one that you know, to help you become fearless. Reach me through my website, thriversoup.com.